is, but this is a great transition segment. You know why? Because we're going to talk about the players era and like why I think it's such a good thing. And I'm going to get to a specific point on this, but it's like with the NCAA, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, this shit takes so long because there's so many hands in the pot. I love the players era tournament. I don't really think it's been a tournament. They need to make some changes there as far as scheduling. I prefer a bracket, and I think a bracket would be good for the sport.
I think it's coming.
I think it adds some added excitement, and people understand who they're playing next. And like all this bitching and moaning by the coaches gets alleviated quickly when there's $1 million in the pot and they're going to go get it. Well, I don't want to scout. I don't want to scout 8 teams for an MTE. Well, I'll shut my mouth if you guys give me $1 million. So it's like all that stuff has kind of changed. Like there does need to be some tinkering, but the good part about it is I admired how quickly. What's the guy's name that runs it?
Seth Berger.
Seth Berger. I applaud this. When you have a small privatized group of individuals who are running a large collection of tournaments and teams and all that stuff, when there's a small group, you can change quickly.
Yep.
And I applaud that because he realized, hey man, this part kind of sucks. The media's had my back through this whole thing because the setup is awesome. Like, do you want it in a smaller venue? Yeah, probably. Like a couple of smaller venues, probably. But like the setup is awesome. Great teams at the beginning of the sport. Drew a lot of eyeballs, a lot of fun, right? I applaud him because he heard the feedback Tuesday, Wednesday. On Thursday, he came back and said there's going to be changes next year. Like NCAA, you complain, bitch, and moan. It'll take 10 years to get anything done. So like, and it's not because people don't want it to change. It's the bureaucracy of the whole process. This is the good part about having privatized businesses and shit like that, but that's a whole different thing. You can get things moving quickly. And I applaud Berger for understanding like, hey, like this is a mistake. We have to fix it. But the good news is because it's such a small collection of individuals running this certain tournament, it can now turn into a tournament that is more viewer friendly. Does that make sense? That was wordy. That was really freaking wordy.
No, it makes total sense, man. I actually really like the idea of making it be 32 teams, right? And turn it into something that is 3 weeks long. So you start out, I think the way they said the format's going to be is you have 4 8-team pods, right? And then you play like, and 2 of those 8-team pods play an MTE one Thursday, Friday, Sunday, or something like that. Then the next week, the other 16 teams play themselves down to 4. And then you end up with those 4 teams, the final group going to Las Vegas, right? Can I tell you what my idea was?
Oh, you had a great one. Who was it? Yours that said the Charleston Classic and all that stuff, or was that somebody else?
No,
like,
that
make
was
it like that's the tournament that leads to this thing.
Well, yeah, that was someone, I can't remember who came up with that one, but like have one of those pods be Charleston, one of those pods be Maui, one of those pods be like the Great Alaska Shootout, whatever the hell you want to do. I'd take it a step further and create another division of it where you go get the 27 regular season champions from the non-power 5 teams the year before, and then 5 at larges. So the 5 best teams from like the A10, Mountain West, the American that aren't regular season champions, and put them in the separate 32 team bracket. Now you don't have to pay those teams for the $1 million each, but you guarantee them at least 3 games against teams in those groups. And if you win, then those top 4 go and play the same days in Vegas, and the winner of that group goes up to the top tournament the next year.
Yeah, is there 1,000 teams in this tournament, Rob?
64. And then the loser,
whoever trying to have an NCAA
he's trying to have the big dance. He's got
but whoever has the worst record of the top group comes down. And then the 28 leftover teams, what you do is you take those 28 teams from the lower group, and they get 2 guaranteed road games against the 28 teams that get knocked out of the top.
It's too much. This is too much. It'll never work.
It'll never work. It'll never work.
You're bringing back all the things T.O. said he wanted to get rid of. All the everything you talked about, T.O. said he wanted to get rid of. You just brought it all back and basically had a separate preseason, a start to the season, I should say, in NCAA tournament, and then we finish up on it. No, that's not.
Think about how many brackets we can fill out. 2 different 32 team brackets. Think about how much gambling we can do. Think about how much rake Bet MGM is going to be able to make on that. I'm telling you.
Dude,
I tell you what rule I like for them to implement. I would also like for them to implement as well.
I think it ruins the games, the gambling. I don't gamble on games.
Well, that ain't going nowhere. They're gonna gamble.
Yeah.
I would like for them to change from year to year, change the teams. So if you're only gonna do 32, you can't go necessarily back-to-back years to make other teams to force you to mix it up and get other teams involved. So it's not the same 32 teams or the same consistent 25 of 32.
Yes.
Every year. So I'm
like, hey, no disrespect, but simple. Yeah, and a couple of those teams got whipped.
Yeah, a couple of them got, but yeah,
y'all didn't.
You got a few teams. I don't know if they even want to go back.
Hey, RC, are you saying that we got some of those top teams we can recycle? Or are you saying like the bottom? We don't need to see Rutgers in the players era anymore.
What's Rutgers doing? Like nobody's there to see Rutgers.
We don't need to see Rutgers.
But I'm talking about to your point when you start talking about so we can add some of the mid-major teams, so a VCU or. Yes. Those, certain programs like that can get in. So it's not just the same names, maybe not every year that we can add someone else.
Yeah, I'm with you there. The hard part's going to be getting the biggest brands in there, getting the UConns, getting the Kentuckys, getting the North Carolinas, getting the Dukes. Because if you're giving up as many as 5 games with those teams on a neutral site, like think about how much Duke's going to get paid to go play that game in Chicago, right, on Thanksgiving Day.
They don't have to. They get. You got to pay. You got to up the money. When you add teams like that, you got to pay it more money. Same thing with Arizona.
Yes.
Like you want Arizona to come. You got to offer more money in the pot. And I'm assuming if we're going to go up to 32 teams next year, that's got to be part of it. Like without hearing anything or knowing anything, there's without question you got to up the pot. Now, when you start doing that, then I think you can start saying the brands who don't necessarily need to be there will start coming.
Well, and I also think
I didn't think Notre Dame should have been there either. I know I'm an AC. We're ACC guys. Notre Dame shouldn't have been in that damn thing.
No, they should not.
No, like I'm not even hating. I'm not even hating, but like they shouldn't have been there. They haven't done anything to deserve that. And I love Micah. And I like some of the players on the team. They didn't belong there. Like I would say, like I like the idea of them saying 8 teams from the Big 12. Get another 8 teams from the ACC, another 8 teams from the SEC, Big 10. There's 32 right there.
Just cut the Big East right out of it. Honestly,
I mean the way it's going.
We'll talk about that. Look,
the way it's going.